The world outside the viewport became a blinding inferno. One moment, the crimson swirl of the alien atmosphere. The next, pure incandescent white. Sergeant Miller, wedged between his comrades, felt the pod shudder violently, a rhythmic tremor replaced by a gut-wrenching twist. "What the—" he began, but the words were swallowed by a monstrous, ear-splitting crack. The drop pod, once a sturdy vessel, was now a mangled, burning coffin. The screams of his fellow soldiers, Jenkins, Rodriguez, Lewis, and Patel, were cut short as the heat from the explosion cooked the air from their lungs. Miller felt his own suit begin to fail, the temperature soaring to catastrophic levels. But Miller was no ordinary soldier. He was a veteran of countless battles, a warrior forged in the fire of 1,000 wars. He roared with defiance as the flames engulfed the pod, his voice a challenge to the void itself. With a Herculean effort, he ripped himself from the burning harness, his muscles straining against the restraints. As he broke free, he saw the devastation around him. Jenkins was a charred, smouldering husk, his eyes frozen in a permanent scream. Rodriguez's helmet was shattered, his face a mess of blood and shattered bone. Lewis and Patel were nothing more than dark, twisted silhouettes, their bodies reduced to smouldering, blackened things. Miller's own suit was failing, the life support systems sputtering, but he refused to yield. With a snarl, he tore through the wreckage, his eyes fixed on the emergency hatch. The metal was twisted, warped, and burning, but he attacked it with a ferocity that bordered on madness. He ripped and tore at the door, his gloved hands leaving smouldering impressions in the metal. The hatch creaked, groaned, and finally gave way, flinging him out into the void. Miller's suit was a ruin, the temperature and pressure gauges spinning wildly as the atmosphere tore at him. But he didn't care. He was Sergeant Miller, the last survivor of Drop Pod 3. He was a warrior, a titan, a force of nature. As he plummeted towards the alien surface, he laughed, a raw, savage sound that defied the void. The flames from the exploding pod engulfed him, but he emerged from the fire like a phoenix, his suit a smouldering ruin, his body battered and bruised. He deployed his personal gravity anchor, the device slamming him into the planet's sandy surface with bone-jarring force. Miller groaned, his body protesting the impact, but he was already moving, his training and instincts taking over. He assessed his surroundings, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. The landscape was a barren, rocky desert, a world of jagged rock and red iron-rich sand. The air was thick with toxic fumes, and the ground trembled with seismic activity. But Miller didn't flinch. He was alone, surrounded by an alien wasteland. But he was Sergeant Miller, the sole survivor of Drop Pod 3. He would make his stand, and he would not be defeated. With a grim smile, he activated his comms device, his voice carrying across the alien desert. "This is Sergeant Miller, Drop Pod 3. I'm alive, and I'm coming for you." The response was silence, but Miller didn't care. He was a warrior, a legend, a force of nature. He would survive, and he would thrive, no matter what the alien world threw at him.